So every year, I always watch movies when there's a particular theme, right? You always got Christmas movies, and Halloween time you might watch certain movies. Maybe you might watch Boondock Saints on St. Patrick's Day or just whatever. Well, there's always been two movies that I watch every September because, as we all know, September is Oktoberfest. And so I always feel there's movies that maybe that fits that quote unquote season. The two movies, I won't be doing full reviews because this is mostly just talking about the movies and talking about why I drink some beers or what type of beers or things like that I might drink during September and the month before and the month after, and just maybe a little bit about those movies and why they are particular September movies. The first one, as I crack open a Hofbrau Oktoberfest beer, is going to be Beerfest. Everyone I know who's ever seen it loves it, but it's criminally underrated just because you see people talking about comedies, and that one is one that's just not brought up enough. In fact, all of the Broken Lizard movies, which is the comedy team who made Beerfest among others, most of their movies are not really brought up enough. Even their most famous one, Super Troopers, I don't think is even well known as it should be. Well, anyway, 2006 comes and they release Beerfest, which is a movie centered around Oktoberfest. They spend a year basically training for a beer competition in Munich, Germany, and they even create their own beer in the movie. And the place that a few of them work at is called Schnitzengigel Tavern. And so, of course, I have a glass from there. I have one of the official beers from Oktoberfest. So here we go. Might as well just go ahead and get one going. And first and foremost, why would you pair beer with Beerfest? Well, that's obvious. But I would say most importantly, it's maybe what type of beer you drink and how you drink it. So obviously when you have an Oktoberfest beer, something specifically fest beer is what I would definitely recommend drinking during the Oktoberfest season. And it's something that you especially drink while watching this movie and the other one that I'm talking about. It's really all about having some drinks, watching some comedies, and just having a general good time. And if you're not able to go to Oktoberfest, you can have your own mini celebration perhaps. First thing, the beer itself. You can skate on it, and in the springtime it can melt, and then you can drink it. It's a really good beer, and it has a great balance between bitter and malty properties, and it has enough sweetness to be very, very drinkable. Which, if you think about Oktoberfest, it's really all about drinking a lot of beer. You have mugs for that. You have mugs like this that hold like 33 ounces or so of beer, gigantic Stein things. And then, of course, most famously in the movie itself, you have Das Boot, which is the boot mug. And I won't be pouring beer in either one of these, especially this thing, just because it would take a long time to drink the entire thing. So go ahead and get yourself some fest beer. Get yourself some mugs. I don't care if it's a paper cup if you have to, but it's nice having some of the proper, I guess, quote unquote, made for Oktoberfest types of mugs out there, and of course, ain't nothing better than a good old Schnitzengigel mug to watch the movie with either. Now, as far as the movie itself, like I said, the five main guys, they have to train for a year to become really good beer drinkers to be able to compete in Beerfest, which is it's a fest that takes place during Oktoberfest, but it's kind of an underground thing, and they go and they have to play beer games to see which country is the best. Is it going to be Ireland, England, Germany? All these countries are competing except the only country that cannot compete is the United States because, well, think about some of the beers, especially 20 years ago, some of the beers that the United States was known for, just not very beery beers, kind of, even though Americans are big drinkers, but perhaps it's the type of beers that Americans are mostly known for drinking, some really low, watered down type of beers. But yeah, it's all about friends. I think the best aspect about it to me is 5 friends get together, and they're not even friends from the onset, they're former friends, a lot of them, but they just get together and hang out and they train for this competition. And I always think about something about it is in real life, what that would take to do. People wouldn't be that serious, and it's nothing for at least 3 of them. They're only doing it just because they either like beer or they're just friends, and they don't have any stakes in the competition other than just wanting to get together, drink some beers, and just be friends with one another. I think that's what it's really all about. And on top of that, it's extremely funny. It gets funnier and funnier and funnier the more you see it, just because there's a lot of different characters that they themselves are funny, and you don't know sometimes that there's a classic quote coming out of them until you rewatch the movie. So for that fact alone, if you've not seen the movie, well, you have plenty of time now to go out and watch it before September. You have plenty of time to get a glass, to get the right type of beer. And if you have seen the movie, well, like I said, it's like all their movies, it's highly rewatchable. And it's a September movie. Now, the other movie that I watch every September is part of the Cornetto trilogy. It's The World's End, which perhaps I need a World's End glass or something, but I don't have anything in front of me right now that I could really point to. I do have a digital copy of the World's End map of all the bars that they head to, but once again, it's a movie where former friends get together to drink beer, and they are even less friends than the group in Beerfest, but it's all about kind of reliving past memories, kind of just getting together maybe one more time, just to have a little bit of a taste of the high school years. But it's all about these 5 friends going back to their small town in England where they're from, and they have a quest to visit 12 pubs all in one night, have a pint at each pub, and first and foremost, 12 pints in one night. That's a challenge in itself. That's a challenge. I would love to get with people and do the challenge, just like you would love to get with people and have some Beerfest games and maybe see who's the best, and maybe and train for a year to see who's the best, and then and maybe you can train for a year and see if you can drink 12 pints in one night out in the town somewhere. And literally, you don't have to obviously go to England to do that. Just anywhere that has 12 pubs where you can get 12 pints of beer. This is another movie that it's not a straight up comedy like the other 2 movies are as much in the Cornetto trilogy. It definitely has its sci-fi elements because it is very much a sci-fi movie. I mean, you have an alien being controlling a town with replicated people who are they're not robots, but they're just samples of people with blue blood. But it's just another one of those, a lot like Beerfest, the comedy reveals itself upon further watchings. No, it's not a straight sci-fi movie. I mean, it is very comedic. There's a lot of funny lines and funny things happening, but there are lines that become funnier or things that become funnier upon rewatch. With the classic writing and directing and editing and everything of the filmmakers of The World's End, there's so many things that you just do not get the first time. So many little quips and jokes and just overall plots that you miss the first time around. So yeah, it's one of those movies. You can play it in your own town, go out and drink 12 pints, or you can try to drink 12 pints. Now, it's going to be impossible to drink 12 pints of beer while watching the movie because, I mean, I'm no good at math, but that's what, 6 pints an hour? 1 pint every 10 minutes? That would be tough. That's almost dangerous. But have some pints while drinking it, have some fun, get together with some friends, just have a great time with it. And it's one of those September movies because September is a time for beer, especially if you're into the Oktoberfest mood. And so if you're going to be drinking a lot of beer, I think that's a great time to do it. So once again, if you've never seen the movie, hopefully you have, or else it might be a little bit of a spoiler knowing that there's kind of an alien sci-fi involved in it. But once again, it's completely rewatchable. It gets better and better each time, and it's just a great movie to get together with people and have some drinks and watch. So that concludes my September alcohol themed what I like to pair as far as pairing beers with a movie goes. I will of course come back with different themes. Obviously pairing maybe certain drinks with certain times of the year, maybe obviously Christmas drinks around Christmas time and Christmas movies. But until the next time, enjoy your Beerfest, Oktoberfest beer, and see if you can get together with some friends and play some Beerfest games. See if you can get together and be careful, of course. Try to visit 12 pubs and have 12 pints. And until next time, have a good evening.